Welcome to day 4 of my 100 Days of Webflow challenge. Today we're gonna build 5 hover animated buttons that are gonna wow your clients. Not only are they visually stunning, but they're also very user friendly. They're very easy for your clients to change and edit the content without affecting the animation. So we're gonna use some jQuery to make sure that these buttons remain robust and reliable. Thanks to Timothy Ricks, jQuery builder, and a big shout out to Timothy for all the work that he does for this community. You've certainly made me a better developer, and I'm here sharing the knowledge of what I learned thanks to your tools. So we're going to use some of my techniques and some of Timothy's techniques and some of the Webflow tools to make these buttons happen. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so let's start with this. So first we're going to make a page wrapper. So this is going to be the page wrapper, and this will have a flex of center and center, so everything will be in the center. And then we'll add the button wrapper. So here where we'll add buttons, so button wrapper, this will be padding of 69 all around, and then inside it we'll make the first button. So this is button 1. So button 1 will have some content. So this is button 1 content, and inside this content there will be the button move. So this is where text moves, and then inside it we'll add 2 text blocks. So this is going to be LevelFlow. So this is the button, and then we'll name this button 1 text. And then this, we're gonna go to button 1, the link, and then we're just gonna remove the decoration because I don't like it. And then we'll go back to button 1, the text, and then we resize it to, let's say, 2 rem. We'll give it the height of 1 nothing, I don't know. And then we'll duplicate this. So we'll duplicate the button. We'll make sure that the button 1 content is overflow hidden. So this is overflow hidden, and then the button 1 text, one of the text, the one that's down, let's say, is gonna have an absolute position. So we'll give it a combo class saying is absolute, and we'll make it absolute, and we'll just make sure that the button move is relative as well. Basically this is it. So we have the button move. Inside it there are 2 texts. One of them is like hidden under because of the overflow hidden by the button 1 content, and one of them is visible. So we'll select button 1, the link itself. We'll go to interactions, we'll add a trigger of hover, and then on hover we'll select button 1. I've already created this, but I'm gonna create it again for the sake of the video. Button 1 hover in, and then what's gonna happen basically is that the button move is gonna move. So it's gonna be 0% at the initial state, and then we'll duplicate it, and it will be minus 100% on hover, and then we'll just ease it, let's say ease in and out, and then maybe give it some duration. Okay, this is okay. And then on hover out, we'll basically just duplicate hover in, change the name to hover out, and then remove this second one. We'll just keep button move to 0%, remove the initial state, put an ease in and out, then give it the same duration. So now it doesn't show, so we have to go here. All right, so this is looking good. So this is our button. Now let's do some styling and do the jQuery trick. So first, let's just change the text to, like, let's say 5 rem, and maybe make it bold. All right, let's keep it like that. So also change the color, please. Some gradient color. maybe some like blue to purple. I like these colors. So purple. And then clip background text. So this is nicer. This is way nicer. All right, so we're gonna add some jQuery to make sure that if, let's say, I change this button text to, let's say, Webflow, the second one will also change to Webflow, because right now it's just the other one. So how do I make that, easier for the client? So now if I publish, this will be the same. So first we're gonna go to the jQuery builder by Timothy Ricks. So this is a very awesome tool by Wizardry. You can make your own jQuery code snippets, and it's very easy to use, very intuitive. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a hover and animation of our button. So the button 1. So we're gonna copy it. Of course, there's a course for this. I think it's on YouTube, so you can go watch it. And then we're gonna make the target, which is a trigger element. And then we're gonna get the children of button 1 text. So this is the text that we wanna affect. So we'll put button 1 text. The action that we want is get text. So first we need to get the text from the first button, and then the second step will be applying the text to the second button. And then we'll save this in a variable. We'll call it text var. And it's just text var. Okay. And then we'll add a new item. So here will be same thing, trigger element. And then here we'll have the button 1 text. And then here we will be getting the text from the text var variable. And then we'll say bullets from variable. And now we will also need to make the traverse to make sure that the text is numbered. So here is the first text, and here will be the second text. So they start from 0. So 0 is number 1, 1 is number 2. And then we'll copy the snippet that we just made. We'll go back to our page. We'll scroll down in the end of the body tag. We'll just open a script. And then, script, we'll close the script and we paste this in between an open and close script. And then we save. And then now, if we, let's say, now both of them say LevelFlow, we know that because, if I remove this, you see both of them say LevelFlow. But now if we change, let's say the first one to Webflow and publish, and even though the second one says LevelFlow, now it's gonna automatically change because of the jQuery. So you see, like, it's automatically changed because of the jQuery snippet. And this way your client can easily change this text without having to come back to you or try to do it himself and they break the animation, which happens a lot. So this is button number 1. Let's go to button number 2. All right, so let's create button 2. Button 2, there's not going to be much of jQuery. We're going to start with the same start. So there's a page wrapper of flex, 100%, 100%. And there's a button wrapper of 69 padding all over. And then we're going to add the button. So this is button 2. So we're going to name it button 2. This is a link block named button 2. Inside it, there will be a text block. And then we'll write the text. And then this text block will be button 2 text. And let's just style it a bit. Let's go back to button link, the button 2. Remove the decoration. Let's make it black. And then let's just put the size at 3 rem and height at 1 dash. All right. Let's give it some padding of 2 rem top and bottom. And then maybe 4 rem left and right. So it looks good. And then also we'll make it position relative. So make it position relative. And then inside button 2, we're gonna put a div block, and this div block is gonna be button background, button BG. And then inside button BG, there's gonna be blocks, so 4 blocks, block 1, and then block 1 will be 25% width and 100% height, and it will have the color of, let's say we'll give it a color of the gradient, that blue gradient that we like. So we can't see it now because we need to position it well. So let's do that. Let's position it well. So go back to button BG and make it position absolute, and then press on full. So now it's covering 25% of the button. And now what we need to do basically is duplicate this 4 times. So there are 4 blocks. Go back to button BG, make it flex horizontal, and make it end or top, you choose, and this will affect the animation, and we're going to see how. First, let's rename this like button block 2. Let's just rename them button block 2, button block 3. So each one has a different name because we're going to animate them separately. So button block 4. So now there are 4 buttons, and the text will be over the button. So we'll make the text, the button 2 text, in relative as well, and we'll give it a Z index of 5, let's say. So now the button is the text is over the background. We're gonna go back to button 2. We're gonna give it a border, and then let's say the border is blue or purple, so it has a border. And now we're gonna do the animation. So the animation basically is on the button 2. So you click on button 2, the link itself, and then you go to the element trigger, you go to mouse hover, and then on hover we're gonna say button 2 in, and then that will do basically, so we're gonna resize these blocks. So we're gonna take the size of block 1, it's gonna be height 0%, and then we're gonna give it, this will be initial state, so we'll make that initial state. So we'll do that to all the blocks. So duplicate, change target to button 3, duplicate, change target to button 4. So all 4 buttons will be at 0% height, and this will be the initial state. Okay, and then we're gonna choose the button text as well, and it's gonna be text color, or actually let's choose button 2 itself, and then this will be text color and blue, let's say. Where's the blue? Alright, blue. And this also will be the initial state. I like the blue because it matches the border. And then we duplicate this, all this, animation. So first we select all of them. We'll give it in out quart, and then we'll animate it at 0.8. So it's nicer. I don't know. Let's see. And then we're gonna choose block 1. It's gonna be 100%, and then block 2 will be also 100%, but it's gonna have a delay of 0.2, let's say. And then block 3 will be 100%, but it's gonna have a delay of 0.3, and it's gonna have a less duration, let's say 0.5. So you'll have this feel, it's like they're swimming. And then block 4 will do the same thing, maybe 0.2, and then give it the duration of 0.3. So let's see how this looks. Actually, also 100% height. Okay, maybe the block 4, let's make it 0.5. This looks nice. And now we go to button 2, the block of the text color, and then we change that, let's say, to white. So we'll see how this works. This works super nice. Maybe the button 2 as well. Let's make a duration of 1. So this looks super nice. All right, so let's save this. Let's go back to hover out, duplicate this. I deleted it by mistake. Duplicate it. So out, and this will basically delete the animation. We'll choose the initial states and we'll remove the initial state tag. We'll also tell it in out quad, or actually let's keep that because we want to keep this feel right on of this swimming type of thing. And we'll just choose all these blocks and go like 0%, and that's it. This will just bring them back. And then we'll change the text color back to blue. So we'll choose the blue, so we need to know which blue is this. So let's just save this blue so we don't mess this up later. So let's go back to button N, and then where we choose blue, let's just keep the same blue so it doesn't mess up. And then also let's go back to the actual style of the button 2 and color it blue. Alright, so now let's see the animation. Super cool animation, but this is going down at the same time. This is not what we wanted. Let's go back and fix this. This video is turning out not as it should be. Alright, so let's just give it delays. So this one is at 0, this one is at 0.2, let's say 0.5 duration. This one is at 0.3, 0.8 duration, and this one is at 0.5 duration and 0.3 delay. Let's see how this looks. Okay, maybe the second one. We'll just give it 0.4. And less duration. 0.1 delay. Super cool, super cool. Maybe 0.6 duration. I'm gonna keep doing this, you know, like this is what you do. You just like keep changing and test out what you like of this. But yeah, that's about it. That's button 2. Let's move on. All right, button number 3. So same thing, page wrapper, button wrapper. We add a link block, and then we add a text block inside the link block. We call the link block button 3. Button 3. And then the text block is button 3 text. And then we go back to the link block, we just do some styling. So the color will be maybe a purplish color. We'll remove the decoration. We'll give a size of 3 rem, height 1 dash. We'll edit the text to LevelFlow. We'll also give button 3 some padding, maybe 2 rem or 4 rem. On the sides, and 2 rem on top and bottom. Don't you just hate this? It's like, okay, it's at 4. Also, let's give it some border. So we have a border, and this border will be the same color as the text. So if we just select the same color as the text, that would be nice. Alright, so this is the button. Now, I've seen a lot of developers do this in different ways. We're just gonna do it using jQuery, and I think this is an intuitive way to do it. But let's see. So select button 3, make sure it's position relative, and then add a div block inside. And this div block is gonna be called button 3 circle. And then button 3 circle will be a circle, so the radius is 100%. The color is, let's give it a gradient color. So let's give it of purple and blue. I like this gradient type. And then is going to be sized at, let's say, 120%, and it's going to be height. The height is going to be, let's say, 20 rems. So it's a circle. We go back to button 3, make sure it's flex, position center, center, and the button 3 is at position absolute. This is what happens. So the circle is covering the button, all of it. And then the button text will be also position relative, and will have a Z index of 5. So it shows on top of this circle. Now we go back to the circle. If we do some transform, so we're going to transform it to minus 100% y-axis, 100%. It's just going to go out. And then button 3 will just do overflow hidden, so now it disappears. And then on the button circle, we need to add a combo class. So the combo class will be move. Okay, so once we add move, we do back the transform into 0%. And basically that's what this combo class does. It just brings it back to 0%. Let's also add a transition of all properties on this button circle, button 3 circle, without the combo class. So this is where you need to add the transition as the button 3 circle itself. By removing the combo class, you do all properties, let's say 800 milliseconds, and let's say ease in and out animation. So now if we add the move, you see it has this slow moving down effect. The button 3 will be 80%, and then when it's move, it just grows in like a circle. So that's nicer actually. So now the last step is button 3. We just need to add a hover animation. So button 3 on hover, it will turn the text into white color, so you can see the text. And also the button 3, give it some transition of all properties of 800, or let's say 650, and also will be ease in and out. Alright, and then now we need to go back to jQuery. So what we need to do is basically add this combo class on hover. So let's build this in jQuery. So you see I've started building this. Let's refresh. Okay, so this is the jQuery builder by Timothy Ricks. So what we need to do is we need to select hover in of class that is button 3. So when we hover on button 3, what happens is that the target, which is the button circle, so button 3 circle is the target. So we just put that here, and the action will be add class. So we need to add that move class. So that's basically it. So we just copy this snippet, go back to the page, go to the settings, add this at the end of the body tag. I always forget this. You always should add a script, because otherwise it doesn't work. So script, open and close, add the snippet, save, publish. Because you can't see this here, you have to publish. So publishing, let's test this out. Now you see it works. Now we need to do the hover out. So same thing, on hover out of button 3, we need to remove class, which is move. And then we just copy this. We go back to button 3. We just add this under it and save. And then publish. And now we have this cool animation. Alright, so that's button 3. So button number 4. So this button number 4, same thing, page wrapper, button wrapper. We add a link block. We'll call this button 4 we'll add text block. We'll call this LevelFlow. We will remove the decoration from the text block. We will edit the text block, so button for text will be 2 rem and will have 1 dash height, will be purple color. So we'll give it that purple color. And then we will make sure that button for link is position relative and overflow hidden. We'll give it some padding of 2 rem top and bottom, 4 rem left and right. Alright, and then we'll also give it a border of the same purple that we added here. And then we're gonna add another div block, which will be the background. So this is background 4. And inside background 4, we'll need another text. So we'll copy paste button text 4, button 4 text, and we'll add that duplicate in background 4. So this will be the same text, let's say, or let's just change it. Let's just make it small letter, so we'll be able to distinguish. So background 4 will also have flex of center, and will be absolute position, of course. Absolute will be full, and then background button 4 will be also position flex horizontal, and we will move background 4 out of the way because it's in the way. So first let's style it. So background 4 will have a background, gradient background. Let's go to blue and purplish. Alright, and then the text in background 4 will give it a combo class of is white, and then make it white. So now this is the background 4, and then we'll just move it out of the way 100% so it's on the right. So yeah, so the button, the background 4 is here, this is the button, so when we hover we need that background 4 to just slide in like this. So the trigger will be on mouse hover. So on hover we'll select button 4 in, and then button 4 in will have the mouse hover where background 4 will move. So first we'll give it the initial class of 100%. So this is where it's initially, and we will move this button text, not the is white, the normal one. We'll also give it a move of 0 on the x-axis. I always mess this up. And this is also initial state. So in the initial state, the background 4 is at 100% and the button text is at 0%. And then we'll duplicate that. So now the background 4 will be at 0 and the background text minus 30. And then you see this movement happening, but then now this button text 4 is also getting affected, so maybe we'll just say on selected element. So now only this moves, not the button text itself. So if you see, it's like it's pushing it. And let's give the easing to be in, out, quad, and the duration to be 0.8. This is looking good. Okay, so this is the animation basically, and then hover out. We'll just want to reverse this, so duplicate it, go back here, the move will be 100%, and this will go back to 0%, and we'll delete these initial classes. So let's check this out. Nice. So this is the animation. Alright, so now we need to make this button intuitive. Basically, we need to make the text change on both sides. If, let's say the client changes the text to Webflow, it will also change the other text to Webflow for that animation to work. Because right now, if we see this says Webflow and this says LevelFlow, let's do that in jQuery. So it's very similar to what we did before. We go to button 4 and copy that class. So in the jQuery builder, again, thank you so much, Timothy Ricks. We go on hover and of class button 4. We need to trigger element of EQ 0. We need to get the children, which is button text, button 4 text. So we copy this. So button 4 text, and the action will be get text. And then we need to set up a variable called button 4, let's say, whatever. Button 4. And then we need to add another item. So this is pulling the text, saving it in the variable, and then here it's pasting the text on the other, on the second line, so the second text. So here get text, button 4, and we pull this from the variable. So we copy the snippet, we go on our page, go on the settings, we write script, we put this, we close script, save, and publish. So let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. Alright, so Webflow, nice. So this is button number 4. Okay, so we reached the end. Now it's button number 5. This is the last button. We're not going to use jQuery here, so this should be easy. So same thing, page wrapper, button wrapper. We'll add a link block. So this will be button 5, button 5. This button will be circle, so radius of 100%, and it will have a border solid of, well, let's put the text first. So first put the text inside the circle, call this text LevelFlow, and then this circle will be, let's say, 20 rems by 20 rems. Display flex, center, and this is the circle. Let's remove the text decoration so we don't have that line. And let's go to the text block. Let's name it button 5 text. Size it at 2 rem. Height at 1 dash. And then purple. We should have used the same text, but yeah, just for the sake of the video. If you're not watching from the beginning, you can watch from different parts. All right, so this is first. Let's change the border color to match the text color. So we have this button, and then we need to add a background. Same scenario. First, overflow hidden, position relative, and then we add a div block inside button 5. This div block will be circle background, and this div block will be position absolute. Full will have also 100% radius, and then we'll have a gradient of, you guessed it, blue and purple. Let's move the angle this time. All right. And then go to button 5. Also same thing, position relative, Z index 5. All right. And now what we need to do, go to button 5. We start animating it. So the trigger is mouse hover. On mouse hover, we add the animation button 5 in, and the button 5 and basically first we'll do the initial classes. So this will be scaled at 0, set as initial class, and the button text to be purple. So text color, let's just find this text color or just pick it from here. So this is the text color. So this is the initial text color, set as initial state. And maybe also the button itself, the button 5 will be scaled a little bit smaller. So 0.8, let's say. This is also initial state. So we copy these, we duplicate them, and then now we do the animation. So the animation will be scaling this to 1, so full, and then scaling this also to 1, not 18, just 1, and then this text to be white. All right, and then we will change the easing to in out quart. We'll put it at 0.8 also. So you have this big grow animation. Save this, do the hover out. So same thing, duplicate, go to the button, remove the initial states. This will go back to 0, 0, just 0. The button 5 will go back to 0.8, and the button text will go back to that purple that we had saved. And save, and then click here, and now this is working fine. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something new, or maybe I just motivated you to create some cool buttons. And if you do, please do share them with us. We would love to see what you build. So stay tuned for day 5 and see you tomorrow.